welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're doing something fun and new on my channel. We're talking about the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera eyeshadow palette. Now, I have never purchased an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette. I know that there are several preceding this palette here, but I never got it. So this is my first time buying an eyeshadow palette from Anastasia, first time using one. So I'm kind of going into this with a blank slate. I really don't know what my expectations should be. I know that I'm not even going to pretend to know what the drama was with the Subculture palette. I didn't get it. I don't understand it. That's a whole thing. So I'm kind of going into this with like a whole blank slate. I bought this palette in particular because I thought the colors were beautiful and so bright and reminded me of spring and summer. And I just thought it was a really pretty color palette. I don't usually go for the larger palettes like this one here. I think this one has what, 14 shades. I usually prefer smaller palettes. I often find that a palette this size can be overwhelming at times because I just don't know where to begin or what colors to use on a given day. I usually go for the Chanel Quads or the Dior 5 shadow palettes. Those are usually my jam. But this palette, the colors were so pretty, I couldn't really resist. I love the combinations of navy and white and also with a bit of gold. I just find that looks really classy and just really nice. I just love that whole combination. And then inside you have this wonderful rainbow of colors here. So I bought this in store. It was $59 Canadian plus tax. I was going to purchase it online through the Anastasia store because they had theirs available earlier. However, it was going to be $25 US to ship to Canada. So I waited and I went to Sephora yesterday on the day of the release, and I'm quite certain this was like one of like 3 left, maybe. I don't know. I only saw 3 left on the table, so I picked up mine. I hope that you were able to get yours if you wanted it. So yeah, I went in store and picked it up there. So this palette has 8 mattes. The entire bottom row plus the top white shade are all matte. And then the top row after the white shade, those are all these like shimmer colors. So I have all of my swatches here, and funny story, I used this hand to do the swatches, and as you can see, this pinky is still stained a little pink, a little purple. I think it's ready for Easter. I did wash my hand, but it's still there. So let me just talk to you about the texture of the shadows so far. I haven't actually tried them on my eye, but just playing with them. So far, like all the mattes feel the same way, like they all feel the same texture. I feel like there's more difference in some of the shimmer colors. So I went ahead and swatched Sails, Yacht, Estate, and Cabana in the first 4 group on the top. Then I swatched Seychelles, Coastline, Palermo, and Bahamas on the bottom. I then went ahead and swatched Seaside, Monte Carlo, Inheritance, and Cannes on the top as well. And then on the bottom, I swatched Mediterranean and Palm. So Yacht and Seychelles, those felt very creamy and smooth. I feel like Palermo, Seaside, Inheritance, and Mediterranean all felt a little flaky, like they felt more volatile. And I think those, are they different? Because there's a list here of ingredients and some of them are eyeshadows and some of them are pressed pigments. So the only ones that are considered pressed pigments are Bahamas and Cannes, which is the hot pink and the purple shade. So, is that why they stained my pinky? Maybe. Okay, so the rest of them are all just regular eyeshadows. Those metallic-y shimmer colors, they do swatch very well. Like the intensity is there. I'm hoping that it'll transfer on the eye just as intensely without having to add Fix Plus. And I'm also curious about the purple shade called Cannes, because sometimes when I wear a purple shade, it turns into a weird muddy brown. So I'm hoping that it stays that vibrant purple. So I have primed and prepped my face. My eyebrows are filled in. I have my coffee. Let's go ahead and start playing with some colors. I just realized that I forgot to turn on my little lights behind me. Oops. I love the description of the palette here on the box. It says, set sail away with 14 all-new paradise-inspired mattes and metallics, from vibrant jewel tones to bright pops of color. That is very accurate. I was drawn to that pink Bahamas shade. That was the one that like drew me in. Oh, also, when I went to pick it up in store, I was also gifted this here. It's just like a little bag that says Anastasia Beverly Hills, and there's a little brow gel, I think, here in the middle, and a pair of tweezers. So it's not quite the same thing as like, I think if you bought it online, you got like the Riviera, like there was a water bottle and like other things. Anyway, I don't think it was worth the 25 US for shipping. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start playing with some colors. Oh, also, this palette did come with a little eyeshadow brush here. It says Anastasia Beverly Hills. It has two ends. One is for blending and buffing, and one is for just like packing on color here. It feels very light, like it feels like a feather, but it feels like the exact same quality as whenever you buy an eyeshadow palette that comes with a brush inside, like the Naked palettes from Urban Decay, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the shade called Coastline with a big fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna buff this into the crease, and this will hopefully be our transition shade. This is really just the first impressions. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, so hopefully these colors work. And then I went ahead and just took whatever was left on the brush and just swept that under the bottom lashes. Now, I don't know what to do because part of me is like, use Bahamas. And then I'm like, is everyone gonna use Bahamas? And I'm kind of like, I don't care. I wanna use that color. But I also wanna use Cannes because I wanna see how that purple is gonna turn out, because I don't know what it is about purples, but a lot of times on warm tones, they just look like a weird muddy brown, and I'm not here for it. So I'm gonna use Bahamas. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just like put it all over the lid. And then maybe I'll use Cannes in the corner here. I don't know, we'll see. I really don't have a specific plan about what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna go into Bahamas here, this like hot neon pink. Also, how fun would that be as a nail polish color? Wouldn't that be great? Ooh, that is pink. That is exactly why I bought this palette. I'm also dipping very lightly into the palette. Like I don't have to really dig around to get the color payoff that I want. So anyway, have you guys purchased all of the previous Anastasia Beverly Hills palette? How many are there? Like 5, 6, 7? I know there's Subculture. I know there's Norvina. I know there's other ones too. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's some like diehard Anastasia fans that are watching that are like, you don't have all the palettes. I know, I'm sorry. I kind of wish I did, just for the context of being able to compare it with the previous ones, which is always nice because that's what I do with like all the Chanel palettes. Like when I get, you know, new ones, I can compare it to the previous ones and I can compare swatches and different colors and tones. But I'm starting off with the Riviera palette. So I'm gonna go into a tapered brush and I'm gonna go into Bahamas, and I'm just gonna sweep this around on the bottom lashes too. Look at how pink my brushes look right now. I love it. It looks like pink highlighter. I'm here for it. I kind of want to buff this pink out more. So I'm going to go in with a different blending brush, like this shape here. And I'm just going to tap very lightly, and I'm just going to buff this out more. Just going to bring it up a little bit higher too. So I just went into the shade called Monte Carlo here. This one, it's like kind of like, I was gonna say it's pink, but compared to Bahamas, it doesn't look very pink. But I just went ahead and just buffed this around here just to make sure everything looks nice and blended. Okay, so now I'm gonna dip into Cannes, the purple color here. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a tapered brush, and I'm gonna place this in the outer corner here and blend it out. So using a more small tapered brush at first, I'm just going to put this. Okay, so far so good. I mean, I guess I am also blending it with pink, so it's hard to tell exactly, but so far so good. I'm also going to drag some of this on the bottom lashes too. And then just bringing it up into the crease. And then just going in with a separate blending brush, just blending that out. So like I mentioned, it is hard to judge the purple like on its own because I did mix it in with that hot pink, but I do like the color. Like it isn't turning into a weird brown, which I really appreciate. So I'm dipping back into the hot pink Bahamas shade, and I'm kind of just like placing this over top of where the purple is. I'm just gonna look like a sunset in the Caribbean, basically. I've never been to the Bahamas, but I have been to Barbados, and it was so beautiful. I mean, everything there was beautiful. The beaches, obviously, the sunsets, the sunrises, the everything. So I think for now, I'm gonna go into this shade called Inheritance. That is the gold shimmer shade up here. It is a beautiful color. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the inner corner, I think. So I went ahead and placed Inheritance on the inner corner, but I don't know why I did that right away because I need to do the rest of my face makeup. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Dior Forever Skin Glow. I am in the shade 2WO. Wow, words are hard. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So for my concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and use the NARS Creamy Radiant. I'm just using this concealer brush and just going in the inner corner here because I feel like I had like too much color like on the inside. And I feel like my eyes often look small if I put too much dark right there. So moving on to bronzer, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Chanel Beige just to, you know, do a little bit of this. So for the blush, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Chanel blush called Jersey. This is a pretty neutral color here, and since I have a lot going on in my eye, I kind of want to keep my blush a bit more neutral. And then for the highlighter, I'm going to go ahead and use my Dior Backstage palette here. I'm going to go ahead and use the gold color to highlight. Now that my face makeup is done, I'm going to go back into my eyeshadow just to make sure that the shape that I have is what I want. Just to make sure I didn't like erase any of the eyeshadow with concealer or foundation. And I just went ahead and dipped back into Inheritance and just placed a little bit more in the inner corner here. Yeah, I think this looks pretty nice. Obviously, we are missing mascara. So I'm gonna go ahead and tightline. I'm gonna go and use the Chanel Stylo Joues number 88 in Noir Intense. I'm going to tightline, which is when you place a liner on the top waterline here. And that's all I'm gonna do for the liner because I don't wanna hide any of these beautiful colors on top. I'm gonna go ahead and use a mascara. This is the Smashbox Superfan mascara, and I'm gonna go ahead and put on a lot of mascara. So for the lips, I'm gonna keep it pretty nude. I'm gonna go into my new Rouge Coco Flash, number 82 Live or Live. This is a really nice, pretty nude. So there you guys go. This is the finished look with the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. I love this packaging here. I love all of these wonderful, beautiful colors. This hot pink is stunning, and so far the purple is looking really good too. Again, I didn't use it on its own, but I don't know if you can see like close up, but it still looks pretty purple. This whole look screams like Malibu Barbie to me. Like, I don't know, I just love this whole thing. I love how it turned out. I love the colors. They have worked really well. They are pretty true to color, like from swatching and also applying on the eye. It is exactly the color that I saw like in the palette. All the colors that I used today seem to be pretty opaque. Like they are pretty true, they are very true to color from the palette to the eye. Like it's literally the exact same thing. So that's fantastic. That being said, this is more of a first impressions. I didn't try out every single shade right away. I can't give you like a full review because quite frankly, I was too excited and I wanted to try the palette right away. So for those of you who are not familiar to my channel, whenever I get a palette, even if it only has 4 colors in it, I always do several different looks with the same palette. So feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know what other combinations you want to see. I'm thinking maybe something with Seychelles or Mediterranean. Seychelles is like that turquoise teal color, and Mediterranean is more of a light blue, maybe lilac color. I don't know, but whatever you guys want to see, leave a comment down below and I'll get to it. So Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Please make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell on the side so you can know whenever I post a new video. And that's all I have for you guys for today. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.